The next muscle group that I want to talk about and show you a few different variations are shoulders, deltoids. Now, like with the back and chest to a degree, there's a few different muscle groups in the shoulder that we need to focus on and work almost independently. If you think about the shoulder, it's one of the most mobile joints on the body. You know, we can bring the arms up, we can rotate them in, we can bring them back round, we can circumduct them like this. Many different movements, and there's many different muscle groups that work to enable those movements. I'm going to show you one exercise that pretty much works all of them in one go. It's called Around the World. Let me show you first. Did you see how many different movements were in there? How many do you think? Four different movements. Really? Yeah, let me show you. The first muscle group I was working is the front part of the shoulder, or the anterior deltoid. It's with a raise, and if you saw, I had my palms facing down. So I raised the dumbbells up, working the front part mainly of my shoulder. Then I rotated them round, which works this area of the shoulder, before lowering them down in line with my body, which controls the medial part of the deltoid, the middle shoulder group. Then as I brought them back up, did you see I added a rotation in also? So 4 different movements before lowering them back down. And then I repeated it, and I always came up, round, and down, back out, round, and down. I reversed the movement. So there's basically 2 different types of movement there. Let me show you again, and watch closely the grip as well as the variation of the width and the height of the dumbbells. Okay, palms facing forwards. Rotate, back down, look, palms inwards now, facing each other. Rotate, back down, oh, that's a hard one. Back out, inwards, no rotation, but back down. Completely different movement there. Back up, look, rotate, hard one. Rotate back in, so many variations you can do here. Back out, rotate in, and rotate down again. See, I'm not even keeping the same thing, muscle confusion. See, a rotation here. I'm not even keeping the same movement each time. Muscle confusion. I'm confusing me. But that's good. I'm having to think here. And thinking requires more work. Breathe out. In. Rotate. What about that one? That's new. I'm going to keep them like this. Out and down like that. Whoa, that's a tough one. Keep them up. In. And down. You can see I'm getting a sweat on already. Now, how can we make that harder without adding more weight? Easy. Sit down. Make the core having to work harder. As I'm standing here, you may not see it, but if I was doing it this way, as soon as it starts to get hard, my body's swaying back and forth. Now, that may be involuntary. I may not be purposely doing that, but it's to keep balance. If I'm sat down, I can't sway back and forth, whether I want to or not. Therefore, my shoulder has to do all of the work. That means it's going to be really tough to bring that weight up, round, and rotate it, and back down. My whole muscle complex here is pumped and starting to burn just from doing a few reps on that light weight. Add this in with the variations of the back and the chest exercise, and soon you'll have worked the whole upper body. And we haven't even gotten to arms yet. Speaking of which, let me show you a few exercises for biceps and triceps.